Hello, welcome to Real Magic Review. My name's Steve Faulkner. Thanks for commenting, everyone, and nice to see you there. Before we do this, some housekeeping. If you like this, like and subscribe. You know the drill. I should hype it more, really, shouldn't I? And if you didn't know, I have an online magic course, resource of over 500 videos that will change your life and make you successful in every way if you were to sign up in it. Within 3 days, I can guarantee you're going to become a professional level magician. You see, I'm not very good. I can't do the hypes. I can't. But go and have a look at that. 500 videos. David Williamson's coming tonight. Yay! In 1 hour, David Williamson will be on onlinemagic.co. All for your membership. God blimey, governor. That's good, isn't it? That's all the hype we need. One of the, I believe, the planet's top magicians on my little course. That's going to be good. I've just done the coin course, loved it, can't wait for the ropes. Yay, ropes are edited and coming soon, and I'm going to be doing more coin stuff soon. Thank you. Boulafu. Don't know if I've said that right, but I hope I have. I'm going to put that on there, look. Yeah. You got promoted because you talked about my course. I'll do another one. There you go. That's made it not seem biased. Anyway, what was I going to say? Some stuff about hype. This is a bit of a stream of consciousness. I'm sure. Oh yeah, I do have some more things to say. Yes, I always forget to say. Right, I want to do more Instagram stories and stuff like that because I enjoy them. And I've done the last couple of days on my Real Magic Review Instagram page, but I think I want everything to be on the. I've got 3. It's ridiculous. I think I want everybody to go on to at SF Online Magic, as in Steve Faulkner. I know, because I've got a lisp, S's sound like F's. So go on there, all go on there, and then I might one day close the Real Magic Review one down, because it's great to be able to post my reviews on there, or maybe I'll just leave it for that, but I want to be able to put thoughts and ramblings and little ideas and little inspirations on there. Little Instagram type inspirations, little photos of me inspiring people, or with vignette on it and some effects to make me look all romantic and clever. So, I'm very tired. I woke up at 5:30 and I'm slowly regretting it. Now, it's weird because I was inspired to talk about this hype because I was having a look on Facebook on All Things Magic, lovely Facebook group, and Luke Dunce had said they talked about hype and tricks the night before, and I sort of put a little post on there, and I thought it was just me that was thinking tricks were starting to be hype, but it's starting to pop up. It's starting to be talked about, isn't it? And it's a subtle thing. Thank you, I said it correctly. Good, Bruce. There you go. It's a subtle thing because things have always been hyped. You know, that is part of the nature of marketing. So what has changed now? And I don't know. I think it's maybe a couple of things that it's about promises, isn't it? And it's very difficult to promise things, especially with a magic trick, at the effect they're going to do, or they're going to be a game changer and all that. So first of all, a little history of hype, really. Well, it's not an academic history of hype. I ain't got a clue what I'm talking about. I'm talking about my experience. So I used to absolutely adore the hype around horror films and also around things like, I remember seeing in the back of magazines as a kid, X-ray specs. We all saw it. These glasses you could put on that would make you be able to see X-ray, give you X-ray vision. Of course, I was at an age where I believed it. And I remember when my son was young, my daughter was young, they would get this kind of stuff as well and kind of see it and go, can it do that? And I loved that. I got so excited. And of course, there was no internet then. So there was no way of sort of validating it unless you knew someone else that had sent off for the thing. So I'd pore over those kind of adverts, even if I was never going to buy it. I loved that kind of idea. And then when I did get some, my friend had them. They were just like a pair of glasses with some cloth in that you could look up to the light and nothing happened. It was bitterly disappointing. But you went along with your day. You didn't spend £100 on them, and you got over it. Or maybe you didn't get over it. Maybe it goes in there sort of subconsciously, and it's still damaging me to this day. And that's why I've got loads of magic books I'll never have time to read for the rest of my life. But anyway. So I love that, and then I used to love the horror film things, you know, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I used to have magazines, sort of film magazines or film books with all the film posters in, And the posters of all the old horror films were just promised that they were the most terrifying film in the world. I remember seeing the Texas Chainsaw Man based on a true story. It wasn't based on a true story. It was like vaguely kind of linked to some stories or a couple of stories. But it was still exciting. And that still excites me today. Like movie posters excite me when I see them and they're done in a certain way, they, you know, just with the date on and a really striking image. And again, they're promising a lot, but they're doing it in a kind of, I suppose, in a kind of subconscious way, not subconscious, that's the wrong word, but a more subtle way. But they're not in the trailers, of course. Trailers are claiming these films to be amazing, so we're not used to it. And incidentally, you know, the biggest disappointment after a hype for me was clearly the Phantom Menace. Whatever you think of the Phantom Menace, I've never been so disappointed in my life. So disappointed that I went into denial and thought I loved the film for about a week and then realised I didn't and spent the next few years getting over it. Until I went to see J.J. Abrams one and cried at the beginning, so I was so excited. But anyway, that's that. So, and then we go into obviously magic. Now, magic is always, again, we look at the early magic tricks, we look at the catalogues, the claims that they were making, you know, that you could perform miracles, and then it would turn up and it would be elastic band with a safety pin on it, I think, as Noel Quarter used to say to me, and you just kind of got disappointed the first time. And then kind of got used to it. ZX Spectrum games. I'm just going to list all the bitter disappointments in my life that have turned me into the strange man I am today. You know, you'd buy ZX Spectrum games and half the time they would literally not load and you'd just accept it and go, oh, that's that money wasted. But I remember in Magic seeing the first bit of hype I ever saw was before all the kind of looking at all extra specs and all that. When I first got into Magic, I remember I got a Magic magazine. I can't remember what one it was. Don't know if it was Genie or I don't know, but it had an advert for Gilligan's Prediction. And I don't know if it was the first, could be a false memory, but I remember I didn't know much at all about Magic. I knew a couple of moves I'd learned from a friend, but nothing else. And I saw this Gilligan's Prediction and it promised this effect. And I looked at it and thought, oh, that's the, like someone can like say anything or do anything and it'll be in that little bottle. Like, that's amazing. That's the most incredible thing I've ever heard. And I just got, I never got it. I don't know why, but I was so close to buying it. And I think that was pre-internet as well. So you have to kind of phone up and get it, I think. But really, really exciting. And then we move forward. And so we're used to that. We've seen that. We've seen promises and magic tricks. So what's new now? And first of all, I think, what is it that a trick is hyping? So for me, it's usually hyping that it's a brand new method, usually meaning it's more direct. So if you're going to hype something, it's got to be more direct, hasn't it? Closer to real magic. I think that's what we're trying to do, isn't it? Isn't that what things are trying to do? So are we getting closer to the things we don't have to do anything and magic happens? That's never going to happen. So we remove process. We use whatever we need to use to create the effect of magic. And the closer we get to not having to do very little, it seems that that's kind of the hype. So, you know, with a lot of the tech that's coming out now, you're kind of not having to do much and create real miracles on other people's phones and create ideas or concepts where the spectator cannot reverse engineer it. There's nowhere to go with it. That seems to be the kind of pinnacle on what people are claiming. Now, or it's a completely new idea, which is valid but probably impossible now with magic, isn't it? I don't know. Or a new way of doing a classic thing or an easier way of doing something. I don't know, and Lux is clearly, I think, what sparked this. And which I haven't got. I can't comment on Lux, but that seems that and Quantum Deck and things like that. So it's big game changer. It's going to be a game changer. I'm not saying that's exactly what they said, but that's the implication that this is going to change everything. That's a big thing, isn't it? And I'm not again saying they've actually said that, but it gives you that feeling that that's kind of the claim. So what do I think about it? I think, for me, I kind of want it in a way. I want that feeling of excitement. I want that feeling of, oh, this is something to be excited about. And I'd be sad if that went. But at the same time, I don't want to be really disappointed. I don't want to get something, obviously, you know, we don't want to get something that has lied to us in the copy, that claims something and isn't something. So it's completely hands off, and then you get it and you realise you've got to do a turnover pass, palm a card. Yeah, so that is clearly a problem. And that is the danger with hyping a trick and claiming that it does a thing. Now, I don't believe many people purposely release bad tricks. I don't. I think individuals, I don't think they purposely release something bad. I think they might release something and it isn't as good as they thought it was, and they might get so panicked that they have to make a certain amount of money, so they have to hype it because they have to get those sales in first, because if they don't, they're not going to make their money back. That might be a thing. Again, I'm not talking, nobody's told me this. So I can kind of understand where that kind of, that motivation comes from to hype. I've been in a situation when I've put a lot into something and gone, this really needs to work. So beforehand, I have to decide what my values are around that thing. What is my thing of where am I going to go up to? What is my ceiling? It's almost like being at an auction. You've got to go into there knowing how much you've got to spend. Because even 10 more, I could do 10, I can do 20, and then you've spent another $4,000. And I think it's a bit like that with value for me. It's like, what am I willing to do? Decide that before I know I'm in that situation to make a decision. And for me, it's very simple. I have to be as transparent as possible because I'm so scared of getting caught out. A lot of my honesty, and I do see myself as a very honest person, comes from fear, really, of being caught out. So it kind of comes from a selfish fear. But what I'm saying, I suppose, is that I can kind of understand what happens if someone's put all their money into something and they need to sell it. But what I really don't like is this feeling of that just wasn't that thing, and I've spent money on it. Now, I'm very lucky because I get a lot of magic stuff for free, but I also buy a lot of stuff. A lot of people don't send me things to review, and I do buy them, and I do get caught up in that hype. I do get caught up in that. What's that new one? The pata board, the potato. The potato. It's not the potato board. That potato board. The one with the clock. You get that? No. Oh God, I so wanted to buy that. But I was just like, when am I going to use it? But I want it, and I wanted to review it. They sent me one, and I don't blame them. But so I want it. I want the honesty with it. But I do think we have to ask ourselves, how do we overcome it? How do we not get fooled by it? How do we not spend our money on something we don't want? And for me, it's really about understanding how we're going to respond to that hype, because none of us are immune to it. I get super excited when something's hyped at me, even if I can see the sales copy, even if I can see it all going on. I just want it. I want to get it and have a look at it, and that's what I want. And obviously, Magic's a little bit different because we don't really know what we're getting until we get it a lot of the time, unless obviously a friend gets it or something like that. So I think when we see that hype, I think what we need to do is step back from it and go, right, can I see myself performing it? If the answer is no, that may be fine still, because I think a bit of self-awareness. Now, I am a self-confessed hobbyist. I'm a professional magician, but most of my magic is about the hobby for me. Now, most of my magic is about the collection of books, the taking a book off the shelf and just opening one and see what happens, the excitement of getting books, the learning of tricks I may never perform, but I just love learning them, or perform them to other magicians or friends and talk about them and geek out and look at different moves. And that's all I want to do. I'm happy that I'll never perform something. So that's okay. So I know that now. So I look at it, okay, am I ever going to perform it? No. Am I going to enjoy doing it? Now that's the big one, because I think we have to, it's not always that the more magical an effect is, the better it is. Some of my favourite things to do aren't the things that are at the end of the spectrum of it's like real magic. They're really not. They're actually pretty lower down, and they're the things that get really lovely responses, but I just love doing them, and they make people feel magical, or they give them, it's not always that sort of, that closer. So if I see myself doing the trick, and I think it fits into who I am, that's a winner as well. But I think the self-awareness thing is really important, of just admitting you're a hobbyist. If you haven't performed for 30 years, but you enjoy magic, then what is it you enjoy about it? And will that product give that to you? Or if it not, will owning the product be a really cool thing? Do you like having stuff on your shelf and getting that every now and then? That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But as long as we know that, it kind of helps us make an informed decision. But I think why it's really important to enjoy the hype, but not believe in it objectively, because it is very subjective, magic. It's like music. You can't tell someone it's the best album in the world, because for some people it will be, for some people it just won't be. And food is really subjective. But what I think is really important is that we know that the more something is hyped, it doesn't necessarily mean it's better than the stuff that isn't hyped. And I think that's the key for me, one of the things I try to do, and I'm really not bigging myself up, I'm just saying one of my things I do try to do is try and do both. I try and obviously review the hype products because I want to give you an informed decision, because I'm not affiliated with anybody at all. You know, people send me stuff and they know full well that I might not like it. Again, I very rarely get stuff that I don't like, and do you know what? I haven't got a lot of the stuff that's been really, really hyped, and that may be just because it's not needed, because they're going to get sales anyway, because I'm not going to make a massive difference, I don't think. Or it may be sometimes because people kind of know that there's something that the hype, that, you know, the trailer isn't quite right with. Now, that's complete assumption, and I'm definitely not talking about any of the things I'm talking about here, because I haven't seen them, I haven't got them, I haven't had that many bad things, I don't really spend that much time on the forums. But I think listening to people and making your own decision, and I think looking at the things that aren't hyped, people are bringing out some lovely things that just don't get, they might have the backing of a big company, but they're just not put up there on the pedestal, they're not pushed enough. So, you know, Perseus's trick I reviewed yesterday, I think is beautiful. And it's not beautiful because a card turns into a block, it's just the way it happens. And I saw the people today, I performed it yesterday and I saw them today, and they came up to me, one in the cafe, one my friend James, and they just said, that trick you did, that was the best one I've seen in ages. It was just really weird. And the people in the cafe had shown each other the YouTube review, which didn't give anything away, but they were still saying, I don't know how he did it. And so that is something that I think is a lot of people don't know about, and you can tell by the views on my channel. You know, the ones that, the hype tricks get the big views, the non-hype tricks get the smaller views, and I think we have to treat it like film. You know, if I only watched the films that had been hyped by the big studios, I wouldn't have had the experiences I've had in cinema. I've cried my eyes out in cinema. I've watched films that have left me sat for 20 minutes not being able to move because I can't stop thinking about it. And usually they're the films that aren't as hyped. They're the films that are bought out by independent studios that haven't got the budget to be all over the buses and all over the internet and on the banners and on the YouTube ads. So they rely on people going to see them and talking about them. And I think for us, it's our not obligation, I suppose, but I think if we like something and we can think that person hasn't got the backing, talk about it as much as possible and tell people about it and you know, write on social media about it. And you do that about the hype stuff as well, but you know, really help get those things out, because I think of people like people that are doing well, like Perseus and Phil Smith. You know, Phil Smith isn't the type of person, yes, of course he advertises and he's marketing and he's got deals on the cards and all that, but he's not the sort of person that's going to be like that, and I don't think I am. And it doesn't mean the sort of person that does that is bad. It doesn't mean I'm better than that person, but just some people just haven't got it in them. So I think it's our job to kind of, if we like something, to share that, and the same, it's our job if we get something that is terrible, that is a complete rip-off, to share that as well with respect, because we're helping other people, and that's the beauty of the internet, but can be also the problem. Did I have anything else to say? Oh yeah, one more. I suppose the thing, and I read a post as well by Rory Adams today, one ahead, that you know, said you don't need any more magic, and I think that's the thing. I think if we understand and that we don't need, you know, none of it is a need, it's a want. So if someone says you need this if you're gonna be a professional magician, I know nobody says that, but you know what I mean. If they imply that. There's a fear of missing out thing, isn't there? Like, if I don't get that and everybody else gets it, they're going to be doing that amazing thing and I'm not going to be. And remember, I've had that before. I've seen people at gigs and they've got this brilliant thing and I haven't got that. I've only got a deck of cards and a coin, and they've got electric things that do that. I've been in that place. Luckily, I have got a lot of that tech now, and actually I don't use it that much. I always go back to the more organic stuff. But my point is that spectators don't see loads of magicians. I know some magicians think they do, but they really don't. Not unless they're hanging out in Vegas every night watching magic, but they don't, and they haven't got that comparison thing. And we see these hyped trailers and we see these reactions. Now, I watched a trailer of Lux earlier, and those reactions seem genuine. I'm not saying they're not, but they're full on, aren't they? But I've had reactions like that with tricks that we would see as really basic, you know, sponge balls. Just, you know, I've had like mind-blowing reactions from the two sponge balls in the hand, and I've done miracle stuff like Wiki Test, CubeSmith, and have people go, yeah, that's good, isn't it? And then shows that elastic band on again. So, and it's so we don't know. So we have to go to what we want. What do we want? That? Do we like it? Do we think it's really cool? Do we love the method and it's going to make it enjoyable to perform? So there you go. Been on my high horse. I'm going to get back down from it. There's my little hype improvisation, and I'm going to read some of these. Right. If a trick is good, it will sell. If it doesn't need hype, all teasers do is alienate. Yeah, I think teasers can be fun actually, but I think that's right. You look at Mark Kirsten. Mark Kirsten's never hyped anything in his life. Now, what he will do is he'll market it and he'll go to conventions and get on stage and talk about it, and all that kind of stuff. That's marketing. And someone said on here, marketing is different from hype. Marketing's fine, and we know the rules of marketing, and we know that we want to know what the thing is anyway. And but so many people use Wikitest because people know it's brilliant. The work speaks for itself. Now, the work speaking for itself may take a longer time, and there is a time frame on this. When people have put a lot of money into something and they have to, everybody's looking at metrics at the moment. We need to get those numbers within that certain time. And I always think about things like, the Shawshank Redemption that only became one of the most loved films of all time when it came to DVD or VHS, home cinema. And that's where it got its legs. And that happens quite a lot. And I think that, answering the question, is there too much magic? I think that's the only reason I would say that there is in some way, because we lose stuff. Stuff becomes old too quickly. And I think that the good stuff in a way will break through, but sometimes it won't if nobody sees it. And I think that's again why I say that we've got to help, that stuff we think is gold and comes from the heart, from someone that's chipped away at something for ages and made something amazing, whether it's through Murphy's or whether it's from on their own, is to share that and share the positivity. There's a lot of people moaning about stuff, and that's fine. But and of course there are a lot of people being positive, but we're more inclined as humans to share the negative experiences, especially publicly. Many times I've got on Twitter and said, I'll stare at this hotel, it's rubbish. I have said that on Twitter before when it's a good hotel, but not as many. I've never put the photos up when it's a good hotel. I have. I'm being silly. How you doing, Magic Man Pete? Nice to see you. Yeah, that was from Magic Man. That was a good one. Cheers. Hey, how you doing, Gary? Good to see you. Dale's got COVID. I hope you're well soon, mate. By hype, do you mean when they oversell a new trick in the street? Yeah, kind of oversell it. Make promises that make you go, really? And more importantly, I suppose, make promises that they don't live up to a lot of the time, or can't live up to. How good can a magic trick be? You know what I mean? I deplore hype from Gary. Glad you're not too bad, Dale. Even if a trick is good, it turns me off with hype. Yeah, I mean, It does. I'll tell you what. It does. Some of the ads do annoy me, like you said. Even if the trick is good, and I kind of just not because they're hype, just because of the style, I suppose. I like seeing people walking in slow motion into a crowded room, just about to blow their minds. That's what I like from the back. Celebrity magician endorsements just add to the problem. Of course, they will only include positive ones, not bad ones. Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? I mean, what I do know is that most celebrity magicians, or celebrities in our world magicians, are usually quite careful about what they're going to put their name to. I'm not one of them. I'm definitely not. I'm not someone who's been in the magic world for years and that I'd listen to. But if I read something, and David Williamson on the course tonight, on the thing, on my life's work tonight. And that actually isn't my life's work. See, I hyped then my life's work. No, it isn't. 10 years ago. It wasn't. That's not a life, is it? I'm 48. So it's not, I suppose it's the result of. But anyway, if I read something David Williams says is brilliant, I'm going to buy it, probably. Because I know he's someone that I respect. I can see that. But I suppose it must be awkward if you've got a friend, and they say, can you give us a testimonial? And you get it and you go, it's terrible. And you can't, what can you do? That's never happened to me, luckily. But yeah. But Bruce is fine, no worries. Speaking of some magician friends I know, one trick's hype has got them off. Not to name and shame it, it's a good trick. They just don't agree with the hype. This will change the face of magic. Yeah, and I think that's the thing. I think magic's become something very different now, hasn't it? It's always been a business, you know, back to the, you know, the early days of people like Ken Brook and that, really good dealers that were known to be great dealers, and so it's always been a thing. But of course, it has just exploded, and the, you know, I hardly review anything at the moment because there's too much. I don't know where to start. I just have to kind of chip away at it. There, as you said, Magic Man, difference between advertising and hyping. Related to Steve's chat. Oh, you just Googled it. What was that? The Gilligan's prediction one. One ahead column. Yeah. So that was one of the, again, I decided to do this, but then read Rory's column on one ahead, and it's really good. Look at my Facebook if you want. Most of you probably on it. But just Google it, because it's a free one. Dit on one head, great, read every time. Yeah, one head's great. Love the channel, loving online magic as well. Put that on just to big myself up. Thanks, Matt. Lux or I can't read that out, that's good. Really refreshing to hear this. Thanks, Bruce. I'm glad my wafflings are making sense. Okay, I really have never seen hype for anything, but again, I'm not in the forums and all that. Yeah, me really, I kind of miss a lot of it, so I know Lux disappointed a lot of people, but I only heard about Lux when the trailer came out. Yeah, I mean, I thought the first half of the trailer was, and again, I haven't played with Lux, and I think hopefully I'll get one. And it looks, I think it looks look good, doesn't it? But it's just yeah, it kind of gets to, there's a bit later. I can't remember, someone says something that says it's going to change everything or something like that. It doesn't, but I bought Monkey, love it, but most reactions are like, that's cool. Well, let's see. Let's remember, like I said, a lot of this stuff is really subjective. You know, I love tricks that other people hate. I've started not learning. I've known but really geeking out on sponge balls. And I videoed a thing the other day and watched it, and I was talking with the sponge balls on the table, and I think actually there's something really, you know, we just chuck them out, but there's something quite magical about them if you handle them really well. And I know a lot of people hate that, so it's completely subjective. But yeah, you just got to love what you love and just embrace it and don't listen to the naysayers. First come, good to see you, King OK. First coming to the live. Well, I hope you come to more. You're always welcome, of course. Magic Corner, I carry Monkey with me every day at my keys and always get good reactions. I do the patter of this is an old key I found when I was a child and all the kids knew how I do the trick. I don't know it. I should. People think I know about all the tricks. I don't, because I've spent all day learning an app today, so I missed so much. I guess it does come across as a puzzle. You could say that about most magic tricks versus mentalism. I remember a mentalist making an argument before about all magicians. I don't think it's about magic and mentalism either. I think it's about how you present it, and I think it's about the trick. And sometimes in the middle of a routine, a puzzle trick can be great. You know the thing with the chain where you put your finger in it and it's like a bet? And Johnny Thompson had it on his L&L DVDs. That's brilliant. Now, it's not a magic trick. People know it's not a magic trick, but it kind of feels magical and they don't know how you do it. So, you know, puzzles are all right if they're presented as such, or or you could take a puzzle and present it as a magic trick. So I think people have laid out too many rules over the years. This is bad and this is good, and I don't think there's a bad and good. I think it's not that binary. It's what you make of all of it, and it's how much you enjoy it. And I've seen tricks that are objectively, you could say, it was loud. I've got that might have put me off then. Tricks that you could say are not tricks that are respected at all, but I've seen them done in ways that I think get really good responses, and I've really enjoyed watching. Not puzzles, but puzzled. I'll go. I carry it all the time. Maybe they are more puzzled. Go yeah. I mean, need to go and pick up the kids. Get back in time for David at 6. All right, Bruce, have a good one. I've got Gilligan's prediction. Lovely trick, but never used. It takes up pocket space. I never got it. I'm almost fascinated. I'm fascinated. Shall I get it? Shall I get Gilligan's prediction and review it? Maybe I should review Gilligan's prediction, the first trick I ever saw hyped. I'll try and get it. I wonder if you can still get it. Someone said this. I think people were upset with that one. Spongeballs do kill. I did a gig where I tried some sleight of hand. That's nice. Do Spongeballs well, do it again, yeah. Yeah, I've done gigs where I've put a bottle through a table and people said, do the elastic band one again. They don't. They usually say, do the bottle one again. But the elastic band is crazy man's handcuffs. There's something about it that just really captures people. There's a new website to learn magic on that was overhyped for a year, and it looks like it was recorded on an iPhone. It also lacks different angles, detailed instruction. No, we're not talking about mine. There's about 4 videos of mine that, no, not I don't think, because I never did any of it. Oh, I did. There's about 4 videos on mine, because I went from getting it professionally shot to learning how to professionally shoot. There are a few videos in the middle that look pretty shonky, but then they got loads better. It's a good process to watch. Yours is great. Thanks, Spencer. I'll put that on. There you go. That's so what's the word? Indulgent. Right. I'll stop banging on now. That was half an hour of me talking. Blimey. Thanks, everyone. Do us a favour. Oh, thanks, Spencer. Do us a favour. If you like the course, talk about that on social media if you want. Do a little review and stuff like that. No pressure. You can hype it for me. There you go. Tell people it'll change their lives. But go and see onlinemagic.co. Please do go on my Instagram page. I'm going to put more and more on there, more stories and stuff, which is SF Online Magic, at SF Online Magic, I think. Isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Go on, do that, because that'd be brilliant. And then I'll do some fun stuff on there. And one thing I was going to mention very quickly is that I have playlists that I've kind of put them wrong on there, but there's one that is Steve's favourites. And I'm quite fussy about what goes on there. So if you want to have a look at that playlist, that's quite a good place to kind of know why I like certain things. Cheers, Ricky. See you in half an hour. I'm going to sit back for 25 minutes and just get ready. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much for watching this. It's woken me up. It's made me feel really good, and that's your company that's done that. So thank you. Share it if you like it, and take care. See you later. Bye-bye.